meteorologist Daniel McFarland. It's going to be a toasty weekend, you've been telling us. But if you get up early enough, at 5 a.m., it's going to be nice.
Yeah, you have to get up at 5 a.m. on a Saturday to enjoy it, but that's really the time to look out for.
But that's about the time you walk your dog and your pets and when people should be.
Not that early, but I have been getting up early.
You have to.
Now I'm trying to figure out how to have the dog wear a pair of shoes. Shoes, but he's like having none of it because, you know, the pavement's going to start getting a little warm.
I don't blame him. All right, but what can we anticipate this weekend?
The wind's not going to help either because, you know, occasionally you do have these windy afternoons, so even if it's over 100 degrees, it's manageable out there. The wind's going to be going away, which is good news for firefighters. But for you, if you want to go hang outside, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do that. So we are not looking at as much wind as what we've had in the past. And because we're not going to see the winds, we're going to have high pressure and dry air just sitting over our area, which is going to allow temperatures to rise up very quickly. Another thing we're going to be tracking is some very hot weather to start off next week. So even though we're expecting, say, 105 tomorrow, 108 on Sunday, potentially over 110 whenever we get into next week. So we'll talk about that in a second too. But let's talk about these winds because this is really the good news for those out there fighting the fires right now. This evening it's not going to be so bad. You might have the occasional breeze around 15 miles per hour for a lot of you in Cochise County. And then as you work your way into the afternoon tomorrow, yes, you might still have some breezes over there, but it's not as bad as today. Something we've seen today that we didn't have the last couple of days is consistency with winds in Cochise County. So we're not seeing those 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts here, but earlier today we did see them right around 20 miles per hour throughout much of the day. I think consistent winds tomorrow will be around 10 to 15, and the occasional breeze of about 25 is what we're going to be tracking during that time. Temperatures right now, if you head outside, still on the warmer side, low 90s for spots outside of Tucson, but if you look inside the city itself, you have a handful of spots over 100 degrees. Some of the warmer areas look to be Green Valley. Another spot we're looking at currently is Sells up at about 99. Benson also at 101. Remember, the post fires going on very close to that spot, and Douglas also looking at 100. So the reason why we're going to be seeing this warm up has everything to do with this high pressure center that's still building up on the four corners. But over the next few days, that same high is going to be working its way down slowly. And once it parks itself just over towards our east, we're going to be seeing a really big warm up here. We're talking about highs that could be upwards of 113, even 114 for the Tucson area. And as you can see here, really starting off Monday is the time we're tracking that here. So we do have an excessive heat watch in effect for both Monday and Tuesday. Once we get to about Sunday, that's going to be when that becomes a warning, once we have a much better idea of what to expect. Now, once we get to that point in time, I would not be surprised to see another excessive heat watch and eventually warning come down throughout Wednesday and Thursday. But if temperatures aren't exceeding 110, I think it's unlikely it comes down here. But either way, next week is going to be the warmest we've had all year and likely going to be the warmest from this point forward because we should have more humidity moving in by next weekend, potentially even some smaller rain chances for Cochise County that we'll be tracking towards the end of next week.
All right, thank you for that, Daniel. We'll be ready. In this week's Tech Tips, have you ever wondered what goes inside your food? Well, News 4 2